few years back. And the way he has been accepted all over the world makes us proud to tell his story. Now, later in the program, he's actually going to make a personal appearance. You might suspect that Donald's beginning was rather unusual. Yes?
Donald would like to know when he can come in.
Well, we're not ready yet. I have a few things to say about him first.
During the early years of the Walt Disney Animation Company, Walt's character and new idol to many people around the world, Mickey Mouse, was a little mischievous. However, he cleaned up his act and became the well-mannered and compassionate mouse we know today. After some time, Walt needed another character to fill in the spot for a pessimistic, impatient, and temper-filled personality, and from that idea, Donald Duck was the result of this search. Despite his disposition, Donald is also a sailor and was a part of the U.S. Army, and was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant. Later on, he ended up meeting Daisy, his love interest, and adopted his nephews, Huey, Louie, and Dewey. Donald Duck is my favorite Disney character, and I thought it would be fitting to dive into his sailor roots, navigate his U.S. Army service, role, and discharge. Today on Nautical Dis, we look into the story of Donald Duck the Sailor. The idea of having a duck character came from Walt himself. Originally, Walt was thinking of having a girl duck character. This stumped the studio for a while, even having Clarence Nash at the studio helping with ideas. This is the man who would give the voice to the soon-to-be character. After a lot of thought, they came up with an idea for a boy duck character. And since he was a duck, and ducks like water, Walt thought that he should wear a sailor outfit, a natural fit. The name Donald comes from a famous cricket player, Sir Donald Bradman, which Walt saw on tour while Donald Bradman had a career-changing tour. Bradman's sold duck was huge news on that tour. Even papers around the world covered it, which later Walt saw and was inspired by that story of his great feat. Donald Duck would first appear in his release of The Wise Little Hen, released in 1934, then later in his own cartoons, starting with Don Donald in 1938. He had a few cartoons where he was on a boat or a ship, like Sea Scouts in 1939, Boat Builders in 1938, and No Sail in 1945. He would also appear to own his own boat in the cartoon series Mickey Mouse, and the cartoon being Captain Donald in 2014. The U.S. Department of Defense stated officially that Donald was drafted on May 1st, 1942, before the U.S. joined the Second World War. This was shown on the cartoon Donald Gets Drafted. Following the first cartoon, the next couple of cartoons would be of Donald training with the U.S. Army in The Vanishing Private and Sky Trooper in 1942. In 1943, he would feature in Fall In, Fall Out and The Old Army Game. Then Donald went into action in Commando Duck in 1944. Donald Duck was a star, which made him a popular choice for World War II insignias. Disney designed 1,200 patches, and 216 of them were of Donald Duck. He was popular among servicemen for being relatable for those who joined. As Richard Schell, who wrote the book Donald Duck Joins Up, states, he signed up to do his part at war and also on the home front. But he could have been anyone signing up for the time. He wasn't fearless, and he was far from the perfect soldier. When his frustrations would boil over, he could be even prone to unintelligible fits of rage. He encompassed the spirit of the times during the war and for those who served. Donald was honorably discharged on May 19, 1984, and got his papers from the Department of Defense. He was also promoted to sergeant for his retirement ceremony. And during the Armed Forces Day parade, Donald, wearing his World War II uniform, made an appearance with Daisy by his side. Despite Donald's discharge, he had joined the Navy during an episode of Ducktales in 1987 titled Don't Give Up the Ship. He leaves his nephews with his Uncle Scrooge McDuck while serving on an aircraft carrier. He is wearing a more modern Navy Dixie Cup hat rather than his usual turn-of-the-20th century sailor's hat. There is no factual evidence that Donald was enlisted in the Navy during this time, However, he has been made an honorary member of both the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps. In 1977, Donald was banned in Finland due to setting a bad example for the youth, that being due to the fact he did not wear pants. The city of Helsinki decided with a monetary decision to stop supplying Donald Duck comics to youth centers and replaced it with another type of literature, which the recommendation passed collectively. In the year after, the individual who removed Donald from Helsinki in Finland was running for office. The opponent of this person used this to their advantage, calling them the man who banned Donald Duck in Helsinki. Newspapers started using the headlines like, "Donald, where are your trousers?" which suggested that Donald's elimination was due to the lack of his pants. After the initial outrage from news outlets, the attention died down, and Donald Duck comics returned to the youth centers, and Donald Duck animated cartoons became more relevant on Finnish TV. After all the years of his mischief and adventure, Donald has been a symbol for many, from the youth of the world to the soldiers during the Second World War, and to all the theme park ducks all over the world. Some might think that he is impatient and quick to let his temper get the better of him. However, Donald is also loving, empathetic, and optimistic. And let's not forget that Donald is above all a veteran and a sailor. Thank you for watching this video, and now a quick word from our sponsor.
Capture the charm and calming grace of escaping to a palatial New England-style resort getaway with our yacht resort fragrance that features the unmistakable aroma of green clover and aloe with a watery green floral permeating the air. Delight in the inviting elegance and nautical touches of a grand yacht club retreat with our yacht resort fragrance at magiccandlecompany.com today.
Thank you for tuning in to Nautical Dis. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for more content like this.